Hi, welcome back to the 16th installment of The Benefits of Being an Octopus. We're picking up where we left off on page 188. Things are getting really tense. So let's get going right away. Okay, Google, set a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, and we're starting now.
Her eyes are so scared, and I have no idea what to say. I pull her back into a hug. I always thought I hated having random people in control of my life. Her words are muffled against my shoulder. But it's not like I need that. I don't want it up to me. I don't care who it is. I just want someone to decide. The bell rings, but I don't stop hugging her. I can walk all the way home if I have to. It's just too hard, she cries. But, I finally whisper, that doesn't mean you don't know the right thing to do. Fuchsia pulls away and rubs her forehead. Yeah, the right thing to do means getting my mom so mad that she'll never forgive me and pissing off an angry guy with a gun. She closes her eyes. I've even memorized the DCF person's phone number. I just have to be brave enough to call it. She opens her eyes and looks up at the ceiling, and I'm not. I stare at her eyeliner streaked face and her swollen eyes. Why should anyone have to be that brave? Okay, Fuchsia finally says, standing up. My mom's probably waiting for me outside. I've got to go. Is there something I can do to help? She shakes her head. At least I can help her clean up her face before she leaves the bathroom. The eyeliner streaks are damp enough that a paper towel wipes them away. It's been a while since I've seen Fuchsia without makeup though, and suddenly I feel like I'm looking at her second grade self again. I didn't really know how to help back then, and I'm not sure I know any better now. Fuchsia doesn't want company when she heads out to the parking lot, and since when we pass by the doors next to the locker room, I can see her mom's car waiting for her there in the space where the buses had been, I don't argue. I didn't really have a choice, but it sure would have been a good day to catch the bus rather than having to walk home again. My feet still haven't forgiven me for turning them into chunks of ice. As I pass the entrance to the library, I peek inside. The two music stands are set up again for a mock debate. An 8th grade boy is already at one, and standing at the other is Matt Hubbard. I tuck myself behind the giant cardboard cutout of Harry Potter saying, "Read," that Mr. Hurd has set up on the side of the entrance. Guns are used exclusively for killing, Matt is saying. And why should we trust people with that ability when clearly the statistics show that people cannot be trusted? His voice is so confident, like he couldn't possibly be wrong. After he looks through all the horrible statistics he copied into his notebook, he finishes with a triumphant, "Guns are evil, and that's why we should take the steps needed to make our society safer and outlaw them completely." And wouldn't that be wonderful, the 8th grader starts in, for all law-abiding citizens to be unarmed and defenseless and at the mercy of criminals who, by the way, don't follow laws and will have all the guns they want. He's reading from his notebook too, like he did the same thing as Lydia and copied down NRA talking points word for word. No, ladies and gentlemen, the answer is not outlawing guns. Instead, we need to be eliminating gun-free zones where innocent people can be picked off like pigeons on a power line. We don't need fewer guns. We need more guns in the hands of more people. Only that will make us safe. Not if those people are bullies. The words come out of my mouth, and not in a whisper either, but in a shout loud enough to get the whole debate club to turn around and look at me. I've knocked over the friendly Harry Potter cardboard cutout, but I can't get myself to pick it up, mumble sorry, and run from the room. There is too much inside me that's screaming. That 8th grader might not believe that stuff, but Frank does. And we deserve better than having everything decided by people like Matt and people like Frank. What about everyone in the middle? What do you think should happen when a kid is threatened by a grown-up with a gun? I say, taking a step forward. Is she supposed to whip out one of her own and kill him? Because that's the kind of decision she needs weighing on her, right? I turn to face Matt Hubbard, and I don't care if he has those nice brown eyes. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe guns aren't evil and that most of the people who own them aren't evil either? You're also happy to decide that Silas Fletcher is a monster just because he wears camo. Can you even fit into your brain the possibility that he's actually one of the most interesting people that goes to this school? And am I a monster too just because I have a camo jacket? Are you happy to imagine the drool dripping off my monster jaws? Do you want to pretend like I just ate a whole bunch of babies for breakfast? Matt's mouth has dropped open, and the 8th grade boy is looking at me like I just beamed in from space. I can see Lydia peering from behind him, trying to see better, her eyes wide. You need to wake up. I'm really shouting now. We're not living in some sort of black and white pretend world. You act like this has to be all or nothing, like it's some kind of game. But there are actual people dealing with this. Actual people who have to say goodbye to their kittens. Actual people who have to hide their phones in the closet. And it's not a game to them. Zoe, I hear Ms. Rochambeau say, but I don't hear what she says next because I'm setting the Harry Potter cutout back upright and running out the door. I didn't mumble sorry. It probably wouldn't have made much difference at that point, since I totally just told off Matt Hubbard and some 8th grade boy. I stop running when I reach the sidewalk. I look up at the sky. I don't know if anything I said made sense, but somewhere between the gray sidewalk and the gray sky, a laugh burbles out of me. And it's such a loud laugh against that gray sky. I can see the headlines. Zoe Albro delivers an unhinged but epic smackdown to 2 confused boys who thought they were better than her. It's been so long since I laughed, and it feels amazing. Like there's a whole big, beautiful, open ocean of freedom inside me. A tear drips down my cheek. A laughter tear, not that other kind. Who's clueless now? I start walking, but I don't feel the cold like I did yesterday. It's like releasing all those words set off fireworks inside me, and they're still exploding all warm and bright. How on earth did I do that? And then I realize Matt and that boy were just 2 screaming monkeys, and I've had plenty of practice with those. Chapter 23. Now that I know how long it takes me to walk home, me and my warm fireworks exploding insides decide that I can take a short detour up toward Route 14 where Family Services is, because there's a question I need them to answer. I find the office in a building that used to be a house. The front part is an insurance company, but a sign leads me around the back. Once inside, I go up a few stairs to find a room with 3 desks squeezed in, surrounded by big, happy posters of kids. The woman at the closest desk looks up. Hi, how can I help you? Hi, I just wanted to make sure that my family is all up to date, with the forms we need to file for electricity help. Did your power go off? Oh, it's on now. I just wanted to make sure that the last form we filed was all correct. She turns to her computer. It probably was if your power is on, but let me pull up your records. I give her my address and then wait, shifting between my feet as I stare at a poster offering free tax help to qualifying families. Maybe someday our family won't qualify for everything. Yep, it looks like your form was turned in about a month ago, and it was all filled out correctly. Who turned in the form? Does it say? Kara Albro. Is she your mom? It's like another burst of fireworks has gone off inside me. She sure is, I say. I don't walk the rest of the way home. I run. When I get there, Frank is in his usual spot, but now Lenny is also there, sitting on the couch surrounded by classifieds with the phone cradled between his shoulder and his ear. Are you still looking for someone to do deliveries? He asks. Nope. Okay then. He hangs up, swears, and then starts dialing the next number. My mom is home too, since Friday nights are the best tip night and always go to the more senior wait staff. I watch her in the kitchen as she works on getting Hector's formula ready. Mom, I need to talk to you. Can't right now, Zoe. She starts shaking the bottle of formula. Maybe later. Lenny stands up to announce that he's going to fill out an application for a maintenance late shift at the hospital. Good luck, sweetheart, my mom calls after him. I hand my mom the nipple for the bottle that she's looking for. We need to talk now, Mom. She tests out the temperature of the formula on the back of her hand and then goes over to scoop up Hector from his extra saucer. She thinks she can ignore me, but I'm not going to let her. Here, I say, picking up the bottle from the counter. Let me feed Hector. She squints at me and then releases him to my outstretched arms. I cradle Hector in one arm and give him the bottle with the other, just like my mom does. Now, I say, we can talk in your room or we can do it right here. I gesture to the back of Frank's balding head. But we need to talk. My mom glares at me. I told you no. But this isn't about you, I say, raising my voice. This is about me, too. And Bryce, and Aurora, and Hector. If you still claim to be our mom, then you better... Fine, she hisses, but keep your voice down. She spins around and walks into her bedroom, and I follow after her. As soon as I closed the door behind us, I turned to face her. Lenny doesn't treat you right. You've got a lot of nerve bringing this up again, she says, her eyes narrowing. But you need to explain something to me that I don't understand. I stepped toward her. Why didn't you tell me the truth? You knew that Lenny never turned in that form to the power companies. You knew it wasn't your fault and that the form hadn't been filled out wrong because otherwise you wouldn't have gone and filled out another one and turned it in yourself. My mom glares at me and then looks away. I just figured it was worth a try. Did you even tell Lenny that you'd filled it out fine? Does he even know how the power came back on? The main thing is we have power. But it's not fair that he blamed you for that, and now he's blaming you for why he lost his job. It's not fair. She shakes her head. I should have been paying attention to the gas gauge. I was so focused on getting that ground beef. I thought that it was going to fix things, but I just screwed things up more. This is where I need to come up with my rebuttal, but not by discrediting my opponent. I need to do the opposite. Mom, my job is to take care of you, she says without looking up, and I am doing the best I can to make this work. This is our shot at a good life, with a stable place to live that has heat and electricity and a kitchen with enough to eat. But Lenny isn't. He's just upset about losing his job. It'll be better once he gets back on his feet. And look, he's filling out job applications right now. He's doing the right thing. The right things. The right things? Mom, he made it sound like you were the reason he lost his job. That's ridiculous. But it's like she doesn't even hear me. I shouldn't have cried. That always makes things worse. I just need to make sure I'm thinking through things first so I don't screw up like I did with the gas tank. And make sure that I'm thinking clearly in the grocery store. And do a better job of... Suddenly I see my old mom, the waitressing mom, thinking, planning every little detail. Except at this time, the customer she's waiting on is sending back pizza after pizza and blaming her for it every time. She's doing everything she can to figure out some way to get the next pizza right. And if you're just watching that from the other side of the room, all you'd see is an incompetent waitress. When it's really the customer that's the problem. Mom, we can't live with him anymore. You can't be serious. We can find someplace. We did before, right? With 4 kids now and no security deposit saved up and no car of our own. And don't forget that I wouldn't even have my job if it wasn't for Lenny. Restaurants don't hire waitresses who are missing teeth. So just because he bought you a new set of teeth, he owns you now? She looks away. And I realize that's what my mom really thinks. Yes, he does. Mom, whatever you owed for your teeth has been paid off for a long time. She shakes her head. Not when I keep making mistakes all the time. No matter how good a person's rebuttals are, nothing matters if the person is living in a whole different reality. It's Lenny who I need to discredit, who needs to be held up so my mom can see how he really is. But Mom, don't you get it? It's not you making mistakes. It's not you at all. It's him. He's the one who didn't turn in the form. He's the one who yelled at all of the old folks and got himself fired. He's the reason Bryce is having nightmares every night. It's him. She looks at me, like she's really hearing me for the first time. It's not you, Mom. I repeat, quieter this time. It's him. My mom sinks down on the edge of the bed. Her mouth is slightly open, and her eyes are fixed straight ahead. Every night? I nod. She shakes her head. Finally, she murmurs, he should get another chance. Are you serious? Instead of automatically giving up and going back to the broken toilet apartment, instead of giving up on my kids having a father figure, instead of giving up on having a boyfriend who can hold a job and tells me that my cooking smells good, yeah, he gets another shot. Mom, Bryce is starting to talk the same way as Lenny. Is Lenny the kind of person you really want him looking up to? She purses her lips and closes her eyes. Hector starts crying. I look down to see that his bottle of formula isn't tipped back enough for him to get the last drops. I quickly fix it and he quiets down to start sucking again. My mom opens her eyes. You can't mention this to Bryce or Aurora. If they breathed a word of this to Lenny. She bit her lip and shakes her head. He should get another chance. When Lenny comes back home, he's all upbeat. Had a good chat with the manager, and I got the job. That's great, my mom says. She's in the kitchen mixing up some meatloaf. Yeah, he was just a few years ahead of me back in high school. Knows a lot of the same people. Wow, Lenny, I'm so proud of you. And the pay is even better than it was at the nursing home. Things are all flowers and sunshine for the rest of the evening. Lenny even takes the meatloaf out of the oven for my mom and tousles Bryce's hair when Bryce shows up to get his plate of meatloaf. But I don't buy it. I don't believe in Lenny's good moods anymore. After I've gotten Bryce and Aurora into bed and told them my story, my mom and Lenny are cuddled up together on the couch watching the dancing on Make It or Break It like they used to. After a while, Lenny heads for the bedroom and my mom silently scoops up Hector from his exer saucer and follows behind. My mom might have said I'd regret it for the rest of my life if I spied on them again, but I'm pretty sure I'll regret it more if I don't. We'll stop there for today. Okay, Google, stop.